Hello and welcome to Transfer A1, where we take a look at the past, present, and future of football's biggest transfer. Today, we will delve into the final 10 signings of one of football's most legendary coaches, Sir Alex Ferguson, and see where they are now. Our first player is Alexander Büttner, who was signed for £4 million from Vitesse Arnhem in August 2012. Although he had an impressive debut against Wigan, Büttner struggled to establish himself as a regular in the team. In his 2 seasons at Old Trafford, he made 28 appearances and was eventually released in 2014. Büttner's career since then has been somewhat of a journeyman's tale, playing for the likes of Dynamo Moscow, Anderlecht, and, currently, New England Revolution in the MLS. Next up, we have Wilfried Zaha, who was signed for £15 million from Crystal Palace in January 2013. However, Zaha's time at United was largely unremarkable, and he made only 4 appearances before being loaned back to Crystal Palace and eventually sold back to them. Zaha has since rediscovered his form and is now a key player for Palace, with over 400 appearances for the club. Our third player is Guillermo Varela, who was signed for £2.8 million from Penarol in June 2013. Despite being tipped as a potential star, Varela failed to impress at United and made only 11 appearances. He was eventually loaned to Eintracht Frankfurt, where he played a key role in their DFB Pokal triumph in 2018. He has since played for Copenhagen and Dynamo Moscow and is currently playing for Penarol again. Next, we have Marouane Fellaini, who was signed for £27.5 million from Everton in September 2013. Fellaini played an important role in United's midfield during his 5 seasons at the club, making 177 appearances and scoring 22 goals. After leaving United, he played for Shandong Luneng in China before returning to Belgium to play for RSC Anderlecht. He is currently a free agent. Our fifth player is Juan Mata, who was signed for £37.1 million from Chelsea in January 2014. Mata has been a consistent performer for United since his arrival, making over 270 appearances and scoring 51 goals. He has won the club's Player of the Year award twice and was named in the PFA Team of the Year in 2012 and 2013. Mata's contract with United is set to expire at the end of this season, and it is unclear if he will stay or move on. Next up, we have Memphis Depay, who was signed for £25 million from PSV Eindhoven in June 2015. Depay failed to live up to expectations at United, making only 53 appearances and scoring 7 goals. He was eventually sold to Lyon in January 2017, where he has rediscovered his form and become a key player for the French club. In 2021, he signed for Barcelona, where he currently plays. Our seventh player is Matteo Darmian, who was signed for £12.7 million from Torino in July 2015. Darmian was a solid player for United during his 3 seasons at the club, making over 90 appearances. He was eventually sold to Parma in September 2019 and has since become a regular for the Italian club. Next up is Alexander Büttner, the Dutch left-back who was signed by Ferguson in the summer of 2012 from Vitesse Arnhem. Büttner was signed as cover for Patrice Evra and made a decent start to his United career, scoring on his debut against Wigan Athletic. However, he was never able to displace Evra as the first-choice left-back and was eventually sold to Dynamo Moscow in 2014. Büttner spent several years in Russia before moving back to the Netherlands to play for Apeldoorn Boys, a club in the amateur leagues. Finally, we have Wilfried Zaha, a highly talented winger who was signed by Ferguson in the summer of 2013 from Crystal Palace. Zaha was expected to be a key player for United, but he struggled to adapt to the demands of playing for a big club and was loaned back to Crystal Palace in January 2014. Zaha eventually left United permanently in 2015, joining Palace on a permanent deal. Since then, Zaha has developed into one of the Premier League's most exciting and dynamic wingers and has been linked with moves to several big clubs, including Tottenham and Arsenal. So there you have it, a look back at Sir Alex Ferguson's last 10 signings and where they are now. Some have gone on to achieve great things, while others have struggled to make an impact. But all of them have played their part in the rich history of Manchester United. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to Transfer A1 for more great football content.